welcome back for another speed build. Today this is the Newcrest community pool, which you will not be able to find on the gallery until after I release the second episode, which will probably be on Monday maybe. Yeah, probably Monday. I know I said I didn't want webcams or face cams, sorry, on my speed builds, but then I did a speed build, or I did a build on stream for making a speed build, and I realized I couldn't record without the webcam unless I wanted to stream without the webcam, and I always stream with my webcam. It feels weird not to stream with the webcam, or face cam or whatever you want to call it. So I kind of have no choice but to have face cam on my speed builds, I guess. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll be able to figure it out. But this is a two-parter, as I mentioned, and it's a community pool and like toddler park area, which you will see in the second part. Right now I'm just doing the building itself in this part, and it took me forever. No joke, it took me forever because I was copying the plans of a community center / community pool type of place, but all I had was the top-down view and kind of where the placement of some of the stuff was at. I had to figure out like a lot of the rest of the stuff on my own. There was no front view, so I have no idea what the building actually looks like from the outside. I only had what the floor plans were, and obviously being The Sims, you can't recreate floor plans identically. It's virtually impossible. So I did the best that I could, but it took me forever to do this. But I'm proud of the final result. I worked really hard at it. I am going out on a limb ever so slightly more. Not a lot. I'm not a huge risk taker, but I am going out on a limb ever so slightly more, like that one tentative step out on that limb. And getting a little more creative with my builds, I think. I have a whole slew of summer-related inspired builds that I plan on doing over the next couple of months, but I would love to do a Let's Play with the new home decorator career. So either I'm gonna have to end my Rags to Riches Let's Play early, or I'm gonna have to do a blitz of just all next week, just episodes of the Rags to Riches, and finish that LP off and see what happens to her. But I also need to upload the second part of this, so I don't know, maybe I can get the Rags to Riches LP done in like 3 more episodes. I know it's stuck on short lifespan mode, so it could be done in the next few episodes if I do a lot of recording and play for really long periods of time. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but on June 1st, I want to start a Let's Play for the new pack. I'm super excited. I always wanted to be an interior designer, decorator. When I was in high school, it was just starting to become like one of the most super popular like reality TV things and whatnot. And I wanted to do it, but you know, when you live in a small town and you go to a small town high school, they have small ideas about the world and they discourage anything that requires you to leave your small town and explore the world and do other stuff. And so we were actively discouraged from anything that would take us out of our small town. Also, being a disabled person, I was just basically actively discouraged from doing anything. But that was back in the dark ages of the 1900s, so We've moved on, I hope, I hope my daughter doesn't experience the same things that I did coming out of high school when she gets to that age. But yeah, that's a little bit of a downer subject. Let's move on to something more fun. I am feeling super inspired by the summer of The Sims. It's finally getting warm here in Wisconsin. We've had some really, really up and down weather. But we had an earlier spring than normal, which really made me feel awful when it got cold again. And some areas in Wisconsin were seeing snow again. That really made me feel awful and really solidified my desire to move to Florida in a few years, which you can hear all about on my vlog channel. I did not do a second episode this week for my vlog channel just because I've been doing so much for this channel that I just haven't had the time. But I might even reduce my vlogs down to one a week just so that I am not overwhelming myself again. But yeah, you can hear all about how I would love to move to Florida in a few years. We're aiming for about 4 years. And there's a reason why it was, well, I first started this plan like a year ago. So there's a reason why, there's a couple of reasons why, but there's one main important reason why it was a 5-year plan and why I kind of wanted to take viewers on the journey of the 5-year plan with me rather than wait till the last minute and be like, surprise! We're moving to Florida. I think those vlogs are awesome. I understand why people do them, but I also think it would be great to follow someone who has a little bit more of a journey to take to get from let's move to Florida to actually moving to Florida. And I think it would be interesting to follow those journeys sometimes too. And so that's what I hope to accomplish on my vlog. So if you're interested in that, you can go over and check out my vlog in the description box below. The roof on this building, again, like I said, I had no reference for what the outside of the building looked like, none. So the roof gave me the most absolute horrible trouble ever. I could not figure out how to do the roof, and then when I did, because part of it is pitched and part of it and 2 parts of it are flat, I couldn't get the coloring to match up on all 3 parts because of the angles and the way the light shines on it. It was so annoying. Finally, I gave up. They all 3 technically have the same concrete swatch on them, but they look vastly different because of the angles and the lighting and everything. I wanted to expand the roof, the inside ceiling in the main part of the building, but I realized that there were these 2 bump outs in there, and so I had to work around those, and so then I did this weird thing of an upper ledge around the edge. To me, it's kind of weird only because you don't really see a lot of buildings like this anyways up here in Wisconsin. And I did take some of my inspiration from some of the community centers and the gated community pool areas and stuff down in Florida I've been looking at for the last year as I dream about the day we can actually move down there. And obviously the colors, I took a lot of inspiration from like what appears, at least in like realtor listings, to be popular colorings for like furniture and stuff in pool houses and stuff down there right now. But yeah, that roof gave me so much trouble. I absolutely hated it. But I needed the bump outs to be there because I wanted to match the flow and the style and everything of the floor plan that I was going on. And it needed that little tiny like entryway almost of a separated. Plus, people are always telling me that in The Sims you have to add stuff like that to make the buildings look better and make them look more interesting rather than everything being big flat squares. And I agree, it does make them look more interesting, but it certainly makes things more complicated, especially when you get to roofing, which is kind of frustrating, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, right now I'm really just working on the building itself. It took me almost 2 hours to do the inside and the facade of the building itself. So I decided to put the actual pool and park area and everything else in an episode of its own, just so that this video wasn't super long. And I did end up even cutting out a bunch of this video too. There's little things here and there that you might not notice, but that just suddenly appear and you don't see me placing them. And I had to spend at least 15 minutes each time I went into buy or build mode looking for floors or furniture or something. I must have spent at least 15 minutes each time just scrolling. So I cut 90% of that out. So you can imagine, just from the scrolling that you're seeing now, you can imagine how much more I actually did. I actually just took my time at doing it. Typically, I try to go really fast and get it done as quickly as possible so that the speed build doesn't have to be set to such high mode to get it to be a video that's like 15 minutes or less. But this time I wanted to really flex my builder skills and muscle and make it look good. And so I just took my time at it. I took my time deciding on how I wanted it to look and the feeling that I wanted to go for it and the aesthetic and everything. And it made it more difficult to edit the video, I'll tell you that. And it definitely led to a much lengthier video for sure. But I think in the end it turns out okay. Even though it's gonna be a two-parter, I think in the end it turns out okay because I think this is one of my best lots yet. So far, I've been mainly doing houses and I've been stuck on this post-war 50s Americana style prefab house type almost thing. And I don't know, there are just so many of them in the area where I live that I just like, it's what I know. We either have old colonial or Victorian, or we have post-war little like single story almost prefab looking houses. So that you have this huge ornate Victorian sitting right next to this tiny little 50s post-war prefab. It looks ridiculous in some neighborhoods, but that's just where we live. It was like an old town, and then World War II happened, and we actually had a camp for German soldiers in our town back around World War II or something like that. Oh, like a work camp, like an actual work camp, not like the camps, the other types of camps from World War II, but like a working camp where they came into the community and did work and stuff. At least that's as far as I understand it from some of the historical documents I've read about our town. I don't know how accurate that is, but you know. But yeah, so that's kind of what our town is. One part ancient, one part post-war, and then way on the outskirts of town you get the 90s. We had like three major building periods: the late 1800s, the early 1900s, and then the 1950s, and then the 1990s. Those were our three major building parts in this town. So it's an odd combination for sure, because they are three vastly different styles of building. but I'm just so used to it, seeing that's what I gravitate towards, I guess, when I'm doing my building. But yeah, we're coming up on the end here. I'm just putting some final touches in. I'm not going to do a walkthrough in this video. I will do the walkthrough in the next video when it all comes together. And yeah, you kind of do get a little bit of an overview here of what it looks like as I'm putting the final touches in. But otherwise, you will see the walkthrough in the next video, probably on Monday. But yeah, I thank you for watching my videos. Don't forget to look for this on Monday on the Sims Gallery. Give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!